What's good? It's your boy JayThat'sMe. Let's get into TNA Impact from October the 17th, 2024. The show was okay for the most part. So I would like to send our condolences to the family of Joe Koff. May he rest in peace, may he rest in power, and may he rest in paradise. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. It was for the Digital Media Championship as well as the TNA International Championship. PCO versus Rhino. Pick your poison. The first of two. PCO wins. Who cares? I don't care about Rhino. I don't care about PCO. It's cool that Rhino is going into the Hall of Fame. That's fine, but I really don't care about Rhino and PCO. I just don't. Moving on. So Gia Miller, she's in the back with Nic Nemeth. So Nic Nemeth, he's not worried about facing Matt Cardona tonight or join Hendry at Bound for Glory. He's excited and is feeding off the energy of it. In fact, he went to Santino Marella and asked to put the title on the line tonight in his match against Matt Cardona. Santino said no, obviously. So Nic Nemeth promises to put the title on the line against Cardona anytime he wants in the future. Tonight's match is a long time coming. Nic Nemeth can't wait to steal the show and beat Matt Cardona. So this was fine. I like Nic Nemeth. I think he kicks ass. He's great. So, yeah. Moving on. So, NXT's Ariana Grace, she's still there, which is really, really good. She's been there for a few tapings. So, she introduces another NXT superstar, Brinley Reese, which is cool. So, Ash by Elegance defeats Brinley Reese. This is fine. It makes sense. Ash wins via the aerated... the ratified air for the win. So, this is fine. Post-match, George Iceman, the personal concierge, he gets on the mic. He says that recently they've been in the business of making makeovers. Next week, they'll do a makeover by Elegance launch party. Why not give a preview? Why not give a preview of it tonight? And so Ash smears lipstick on Brinley Reese's face, and she applies more lipstick, and then she kisses Brinley Reese. And then Zaya Brookside comes down to make the save. So that's fine. This makes sense. I like this. I'm not a fan of Ash by Elegance, not as of late, but what they're doing with her, it does make sense. I wish the TNA had a mid-card title for the women, but they don't. So, we'll have to wait and see, but this was okay. Moving on. So, we get a vignette of Rosemary and Wendy Chu from NXT. So, Rosemary keeps saying there should be no more humans. So, then we see Jody Threat and Denny Luna. They're playing five-finger fillet. So Rosemary, she continues to ramble on. And Wendy Chu and Rosemary, they were sitting where Jody Threat was, and then they're smiling and looking creepy. They basically want the tag team titles. So this is fine. So that'll be cool. I'm still loving the NXT TNA crossover. It kicks ass, and this makes sense. I know some people have been getting mad about it and stuff, but you know, people feel that NXT is fucking over TNA when they're not really. They're not. Like, people think that just because NXT is after Jordynne Grace, it's like, you know, it's the end of the world, but it's not, because Jordynne Grace should have been left TNA a long time ago. I would even say as early as last year. She's done everything she can do. Like, there's no point in her sticking around. Standing with Jonathan Gresham, like, same thing. So, yeah. Moving on. So, Mike Bailey, he defeats Heath Slater. He retains the X Division Championship. This match was fun. It was a really fun match. Enjoyed it. Moving on. So, we get a video package from El Hingo Del Vikingo from AEW. So, he's going to be facing Mike Bailey for the TNA Championship at Bound for Glory. That should be fun. Really good stuff. Moving on. So, the Hardys and the ABC, they're backstage. So, the ABC, they talk about how they've been fans of the Hardys since they were kids, but when push comes to shove, the fandom has to be turned off at Bound for Glory. Next week, they're going to team up to face the System. Oh, joy. I'm going to bang my head through a fucking wall next week. The Hardys say they have respect for ABC, and they're looking forward to team with them next week. However, at Bound for Glory, it's every team for themselves, and then Matt Hardy is about to say this might be their last TLC, and then Jeff Hardy cuts him off and says, full metal mayhem, either way. Matt Hardy says at Bound for Glory, they'll be TNA World Tag Team Champions once again. So that's cool. This is great. Hopefully it does happen, because it seems like the Hardys, they're on their way out. Not just the Hardys, but also Jordynne Grace, Jonathan Gresham, and probably in due time Joe Hendry. And TNA, they can't be lazy anymore. They have to really start bringing in people. I know they just recently signed Casey Navarro, which is great. That's cool, but we need more than him. They just brought in Xia Li, so that's great too, but we need more. Hopefully at Bound for Glory we get some surprises, like Mandy Rose shows up. Maybe we can get Velveteen Dream showing up. That'd be great. But they've got to start replacing these big names that they're fixing to lose. And like I said, once they lose Jordynne Grace, they're going to have to push Masha Slamovich, but not just her. They're going to have to bring in like a Mandy Rose or whatever, because that division, you can't just have Masha Slamovich run the division. It wouldn't make sense. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Moving on. So, Steve Maclin is out next. He gets on the mic. He says he wants to voice his frustrations over the Northern Armory taking him out and Eric Young last week. He wants answers, and then he calls out the Northern Armory. So Josh Alexander calls Steve Maclin a self-serving scumbag. He wants to know the real reason behind Steve Maclin's change of heart in helping Eric Young. So Josh Alexander begins to remind everyone of his accomplishments and how hard he worked over the years. So then Judas, Icarus, and Travis Williams, they surround the ring. So Josh Alexander wants to know why the fans should believe in Steve Maclin. Steve Maclin said that Josh Alexander believed in him. He starts talking about the nice things Josh Alexander said about him. And then basically the rest of Northern Armory were about to attack Steve Maclin, but they didn't, because he was keeping a close watch on both of them. So basically, Josh Alexander talks about how Steve Maclin couldn't hold on to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship only just for a month or so. And so then Steve Maclin then attempts to attack Josh Alexander, and then he's beaten down for his troubles by the rest of the Northern Armory. And then they get a zip tie. They tie his hands behind his back. And then Steve Maclin spits in Josh Alexander. No, Josh Alexander calls Steve Maclin stupid. Steve Maclin spits in Josh Alexander's face, and then Josh Alexander hits him with a big boot, and he hits the C4 spike. And that was the end of the segment. So this is fine. I guess I like it. Am I a fan of heel Maclin? I mean, not heel Maclin, but babyface Steve Maclin. I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. It seems like it's super weird, but we have to wait and see, I guess. But Maclin, to me, this does seem like it's a total ruse, in my opinion. I really do. I just don't get it. I feel like Steve Maclin is better as a heel versus a babyface. But that's just me. Moving on. So, Santana Marella and Ariana Grace, they're in the back. They're talking about the Call Your Shot gauntlet match, which is going to take place at Bound for Glory. So, lame-ass, boring-ass Frankie Kazarian, he shows up and interrupts. He demands to be in the gauntlet match and says that he's working on a plan to be involved in the TNA World Title match at Bound for Glory. Oh my God, what the fuck? Moving on. Mike Santana beat the shit out of Brian Myers. So there was no match involving him and Brian Myers, which praised the creator. That was great. And so Mike Santana took out both Eddie Edwards and JDC with the chain. So that was cool. So then Mike Santana gets on the mic. He says that he's sick of everyone in the system. He calls out Moose. Moose doesn't come out. Santana says that since Moose is going to be a man, he'll go to the back and find him. And then he attempts to do just that. And then just as Mike Santana is about to walk through the backstage area, Moose attacks him from behind. He lays him out. And Moose says, "Be careful what you fucking wish for." That was great. So this is cool, I guess. I'm not a fan of Moose, but this is a pretty interesting story they have going. I like Mike Santana. I do. I really do. But I feel that it's not his time to be TNA World Champion. I feel like Nic Nemeth and Joe Hendry would both have to be gone from the company in order for that to happen. I feel that he's a very solid mid-card guy for right now. I mean, he could be a really good world champion for sure, but he will be champion for no more than about maybe 3 to 6 months, and that's it. You know, that's the way I see it. And I'm a fan of Mike Santana. I like him. He's solid. He's really good. It's just right now when you have guys like Joe Hendry, you know, trying to still be a top guy, which he is, he needs that more than Mike Santana. So, I mean, I'm guessing Mike Santana could get there once Joe Hendry leaves, whenever that may be. But for right now, he has to, you know, stay as a mid-card act. So, yeah. Moving on. So Matthew Rehwald, Matthew Rehwald had a sit-down interview with Jordynne Grace and Masha Slamovich. So Jordynne Grace basically wants an explanation as to why Masha did what she did last week. So Masha Slamovich wants to know what was she supposed to tell Jordynne Grace. She's been focusing on supporting Jordynne Grace's accomplishments. Jordynne Grace says that She want to apologize for all the great things she's done recently. Masha Slamovich, Jordynne says Masha got in her own way by going to the tag division, which is kind of true, but not really. That's more so creative's fault than it is Masha's. So Jordynne Grace continues on by saying how she's beaten Masha Slamovich in the past and thinks a lot about it. She says that every time she faces Masha, it gets harder. Masha says that they both grown a lot and she wants the title more and more. She may not be able to beat Jordynne Grace in the past, but she can now. And then Jordynne Grace is happy that Masha Slamovich has found the best version of herself. She has to beat Masha. Masha Slamovich says she loves Jordynne Grace, but she'll be leaving Bound for Glory as the new Knockouts Women's Champion. Cool, I like that. Really cool stuff there. But what do we do with Masha long term if she loses? Because this is basically like the fourth time they're going to face each other. Now this is, happened over a 2-year period, but still, I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about this. I don't. My guess is that Jordynne Grace should lose, and she needs to lose. And then maybe that's when we see like a Mandy Rose show up or somebody like that. Or like a Lacey Evans. I could see something like that happening. But we got to do something because, Jordynne Grace, she's on her way out. And TNA has no fucking knockouts that are really worth a damn right now. Like, most of them are basically in AEW or WWE. So, yeah. Main event of the evening. Nic Nemeth defeats Matt Cardona. Pick your poison. So, post-match, my bad. PCO came out, in my bad. Towards the end of the match, PCO comes out, and he takes out Matt Cardona. This allows for him to hit the danger zone, that being Nic Nemeth. And then post-match, PCO takes Matt Cardona to the back. Okay, that's fine. Who cares about this shit? Then Frankie Kazarian, he attacks Nic Nemeth in the ring. So Hendry runs out to make the save. The two of them beat the shit out of Frankie Kazarian. And then Frankie Kazarian rolls to the outside. He grabs a mic. And he announces that he's going to be the special guest referee for the TNA World Title match between Nic Nemeth and Hendry at Bound for Glory. I'm just like, what the fuck? TNA, what are you doing? You're so stupid. Please don't do this shit. Please don't do this. Please. Why do this? We don't need any more referee matches. We just saw one not too long ago between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk involving Seth Rollins. We also saw Trick Williams and Ethan Page in a match that involved a special guest referee, that being CM Punk. And now we have to see it again in TNA with Frankie Kazarian, Nic Nemeth, and Hendry. This is not good. TNA, come on, do better than this. Do better. This is fucking whack. No. And what can you do now? Because next week is the go home show. So what can you do? I don't know. But all in all, TNA was okay. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.